What is going on, guys? My name is Maddie from DCLblogger.com, and today I wanted to make a post talking about two of my most recent obsessions. Gods Unchained slowly becoming one of my obsessions, but Decentraland and Gods Unchained. If you're, depending on what community you are from, I'm going to quickly go through just the really basic fundamentals, maybe a 30-second recap of both companies, and then I'm going to dive into why I think they're both like really good for each other. Okay, first of all, I'm going to go through Gods Unchained. Gods Unchained they're aiming to be an esport for a trading card game built on the blockchain. Makes for a perfect idea, because trading cards, there's a element of scarcity. People buy them to hold on to rares and kind of like to show off their collection. And the fact that you can bring this onto the blockchain under NFT tokens, you can confirm and verify that rarity, right? Because the contract is written to only allow X amount of certain tokens to be released into the world, and anyone at any time can verify this. So basically, you can buy decks, you can buy rare decks, you can buy epic or legendary decks at different price ranges, and you get 5 cards per pack. Rare is 0.012, which is like $5, $5 US, pretty affordable. This one's 0.0775, which is about 7 times or 6.5 times $5, which is like $70 US. No, wait, $30 US, $30 to $40 US. Then you got legendary, then you got shiny legendary. And you can buy it in sets of 1, 6, 18, 50, and 100, blah, 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 blah. Basically, you can buy any of these packs that spit out a bunch of different cards that have their own rarities and types, right? So the different cards, the illustrations and artwork behind these is pretty amazing. So you can have cards that are common, rare. Rare is denoted by this color gem, so it's a blue gem. Epic, which is a purple gem. Legendary, which is a gold gem. So this is my pack, and I bought, I think, 90 of them. So that was like 1 Ethereum's worth. And these are all the cards that I got. So you can see the rarity. The shine, you can get plain, shadow, gold, and diamond. And so I got 2 of these in common or normal, none in shadow, none in gold, none of diamond, blah 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 blah. But what you can do is you can merge 5 of any tier of these to upgrade it to the next tier. So 5 plains will get you 1 shadow. 5 shadows, you can merge them into and make this card into a gold, and 5 golds will make this into a diamond. So it just makes a really cool element of combining cards to make this, to give it a meaning to own these uncommon ones, right? These like plain cards, at least people can have an incentive to buy these off the marketplace. Anyway, so Gods Unchained, that's what they're aiming to be. The cool thing is, okay, the epic thing is that these guys are backed and funded and invested by Coinbase. So Coinbase is actually an investor or a partner with Gods Unchained. You can check this out. Investor, Coinbase, Nirvana Capital, Continue Capital, Sora Ventures, and I think they've received about $2.4 million worth of funding. I don't know if that was in total or that was just Coinbase, but $2.4 million in funding has gone into this company. And these guys are behind Etherbots, if you come across them as well. Fuel Gaming, I think they are Fuel Bros. And that's just Gods Unchained for you. So you're gonna be competing for this prize pool at the start of next year, where there's going to be a tournament and all that kind of stuff. So on the other hand, Decentraland, if you haven't come across this, or you haven't really investigated it that much, Decentraland, you can own any parcel 10 by 10 meters. Once you put on your VR glasses, any one of these little pixels are parcels, and if you buy them or own them, you can enter them, and they're 10 by 10 meters in length and 20 meters in height at a minimum. The more parcels you own that are adjacent to each other, increase your build height. So if you own 5 parcels that are connected to each other, then I think your build height increases to like 25 or 30 or 40 meters or something like that, right? There's a logarithmic formula for it. So you can buy land anywhere around the world. This is the most central part of the world. Anything connected to Genesis Plaza in the center is worth big dollars. I'm talking like, $30,000 US, or even up to $100,000 US. And there's other communities out there that are aiming to build different districts. So these are called districts. This is the Crypto Valley, trying to make like an online Silicon Valley so you can pitch your ICO or product to investors all around the world in VR. There is the Battleground, which they're trying to make it an RPG, RTS, PvP, a perfect place for Gods Unchained to go and set up camp. You have a bunch of different districts here. Like there's like 50 to 60 different districts here. Engineering Park. You've got like you've got like a virtual reality shopping district. You've got Fashion Street. You've got Ethereum project. You've got so much stuff going on here. And this is a really exciting space, and there's a lot of land sales happening every day. So I don't know if you've heard about the Nifty conference. The Nifty conference, everyone's been going to it, and this is where a lot of these blockchain gaming companies have gone, and they've just so happened to meet up in this place and pitch whatever they've been doing to the world and to, more importantly, each other, which allows for a lot of interesting conversations and collaborations to come from that. Okay, so a lot of blockchain gaming companies have been collaborating and are being brought on to the Decentraland platform. So Ethereum, Axie Infinity very soon. You've got a bunch of different South Korean companies that are also going to be brought onto the platform. And Decentraland are going really heavy with bringing these blockchain gaming experiences onto Decentraland. And recently, there was another one called Crypto Beasties that was brought on, another trading card game where they're aiming to make it into a virtual reality experience. Now, taking that into mind, Gods Unchained being a beast of its own, like it has a ton of investment power behind it. It's beautiful, it's fluid, a lot of money and community is backing this company or this game, Gods Unchained. It's pretty fun to play, and like it's pretty cool to own these cards, right? There's 3 mythic titans available in all of Gods Unchained. And one of those mythic titans itself is currently being auctioned off, and the current bid for the auction is 140 Ethereum. That's a crazy amount of money. That's like 60 to 70,000 US dollars. There's about 1 day and a half left to go to the end of the auction. So it's just very clear how much money and excitement is behind and energy is behind Gods Unchained. So check this out, right? Again, this is the blog post that was recently tweeted by Decentraland saying that they're going to be onboarding Crypto Beasties, and which is a trading card game. And this picture kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to be like. So imagine being at the side of all that, them being your cards, and you popping out different types of cards, fighting, battling with each other, with other people. Now, what makes this really interesting is a few notes below. So if you read this blog post, which I recommend you do, there is a mention of check this out. You'll be able to carry your customized deck of beasties with you wherever you go in Genesis City. If you see another person tagged as a Crypto Beasties player, you'll be able to run up and challenge them to a duel. Or you could coordinate larger tournaments in one of the many locations of Genesis City. We've got a few ideas of what this might look like in the world. Players may be teleported to a temporary isolated arena, either on a separate parcel or a platform floating in the sky. These arenas could be kept publicly available to spectators or friends of the players. Another option we're considering is limiting the public duels to roads and plazas. Since Decentraland is still under construction and so is Crypto Beasties, we want to explore a few options to make sure that we will deliver the best experience possible. So how cool is that? Imagine walking down the street in virtual reality, coming across someone else who's also a player of any specific game, and you can have a battle with them then and there, challenge them, and other people around can stop and watch. Like, that's pretty cool, right? And the fact that there's these kind of like this level of build and discussions happening, although we are in very early stages. Now imagine bringing that onto Decentraland. Imagine bringing a virtual reality gaming experience, kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel system, onto Decentraland, and especially the tournament that's going to be held at the start of next year. Imagine having the grand final or the finals of that tournament held in the VR world. That would be epic, and you can kind of view that and see that whole experience where the monsters actually pop out of the cards, just like in Yu-Gi-Oh! And they fight against each other or something like that. Like, it just brings a whole awesome element to it, where it comes together, where it's a Decentraland virtual reality platform and the first ever kind of esport for blockchain, coming together, and there's going to be so much hype and buzz around that. I feel like it's going to be just a very powerful experience, and there's going to be a lot of like publicity behind that, I personally believe. And I know I'm going to be covering that like crazy, and a lot of other bloggers will be. There's a lot of community power behind both of these companies, and I feel like the developers are really in tune with what the future is, and just having them both collaborate with each other is just gonna be awesome, I think, for both companies. So I'd love to see this happen. I don't know if there's talks happening. I can't imagine there not being any talks happening between these two guys, because they were there at the Nifty conference, and just Gods Unchained and virtual reality Decentraland just feels like the best, or one of the best, like collaborations.